Good evening, everyone. Good evening, welcoming. Tonight we have back, of course, the best panel you're going to get, the absolute real ones, the old school. Before we get into it, anybody in the chat can tell me in that intro video, is there any footage of West Ham against Everton or whatever it was? Because I've had copyright on the last 3 streams about showing EPL content, and I said, well, I haven't shown EPL content of which I've got rights to. I bought it, but where's the West Ham content? I'm amazed. I'm really amazed. But this is what YouTube like to do, and both times I appealed. Well, the first time I appealed, they refused it, and I just cut out the 5 seconds. So we see if it happens again tonight. Anyway, before we get into it, Shane, mate, how you doing?
Yeah, all good. All good. Happy to be here. Have a nice little chat. I always look forward to these, talking with the real ones, I should say. And yeah, looking forward to it. We had that news about Arsenal today, which I'm sure we'll touch on, but everything's good. World Cup starting on Thursday. I can't wait. Yeah, you know me and Kenny as well. We're World Cup aficionados. We adore it. So for me, I'm very looking forward to it. I would watch any World Cup game, any team playing. And I just finished, and I sent it to Kenny. It's a 5-part. Everybody should watch it on Netflix. Of there's actors playing Pele and stuff like that, but it follows them through the World Cup 70, and the footage they do when they're on the pitch is the best I've ever seen in a movie or a show, where it looks realistic, you know, and it replays all the goals they scored and stuff. But it's a 5-part. It's in Portuguese now with subtitles, and it's one of the best sort of shows on football I've ever watched. But it is on. It's called Brazil 3-star, or the 3rd star, and I'd recommend it to anybody. But yeah, glad to be here, man, and really looking forward to it.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Big up, Mama. Good to see Mama's in the house, and we've got Gavlar is in here, and yeah, DJ. Thoroughly enjoyed the show last night. Absolute brilliant show that was. You and me. Felt like 30 minutes. It was about an hour and whatever it was, hour and 20.
Yeah.
I don't know. But it was an amazing. I loved it, every minute of that. How you doing, my friend?
Yeah, it's good. All good, my friend. All good. The weather's been a bit brighter today, which is a bonus. Yeah, that was good. And yeah, I'm looking forward to the World Cup. I do enjoy the World Cup, I've got to be honest. I'm mainly kind of looking forward to see how some of the kind of fringe teams play. I'll be interested to see how Mexico perform. I think there might be a few dark horses amongst them. Yeah, always a pleasure to be on, Jez. And last night's show was really, really good. Had some really positive, really good comments. So all good, mate. All glad to be on with the Shano and the Kenny Ken as usual, and yourself. And yeah, big up to everyone.
Yeah, it was great chat. Big up, Steffi. Hope you're well. Nice to see Steffi in the house as well. Kenny Ken, how you doing, my friend? Weather's a little bit short, but go on.
Yeah, all good. Yeah, looking forward to World Cup as well. Me and Shane did a show on Friday about World Cups. We got to 1978, and I thought it was very important not just to talk about it, but just to rewrite a few myths, because a lot of people think that, seem to forget Brazil got to have been in every World Cup tournament, and that the actual revival of German football, international football, was actually 1966, and that Germany have always had a succession of managers. Herberger, Schön, Burwell, and then from Beckenbauer to Votes, and then that's when it all stopped with Votes, and then it got a revival with Yogi Low. So we're definitely going to be looking at that. But one thing I will say is that, yeah, looking forward to the show. I do think that, I do worry the next season that people are going to stop analysing football matches and be scared to say it how it is because we won the title and not be critically analyse a football match. I do worry about that, but I know Arsenal will do it.
I will. Don't worry about that. DJ and I had a deep chat about this last night. But
yeah,
going to start off with a nice little question from John. John always every week pops in a lovely little question to start with. It's always good. John says, across the 80s and 90s, which Arsenal player do you think England undervalued the most? And why did so many Arsenal players in that era struggle to convince England managers they were good enough? That's a great question, man. That's a great question.
It's got to be David Rocastle, hasn't it?
Sorry?
It's got to be David Rocastle, hasn't it?
He's got to be one of them, that's for sure.
We had a few England players.
A lot of the back four as well. A lot of the back four, apart from Tony Adams, were great as well.
The thing about it is that some of these players who play for Arsenal were England internationals, albeit at different clubs. Like Paul Mariner was a regular international for England, but that was when he was at Ipswich. And when he joined Arsenal, Gary Lineker came along in '84, took his place. Remember Mark Haitley? I don't know if you guys remember it. Mark Haitley was everyone talks about Mark Haitley because he went from Portsmouth to AC Milan, scored a goal in the Milan derby, and he became the biggest thing in English football. But he wasn't a prolific goal scorer, but he was like the next best thing. And then so was Gary Lineker. Don't forget Tony Woodcock when he played for us in joined us in 82, 83. He was a regular international under Bobby Robson, and he was a big contributor towards England. Kenny Sampson, let's not forget, most of his career as an England player was Arsenal's first choice right back and at times captain. So there were a few players, but I know what you mean. That Stuart Robson,
Alan Smith is
Alan Smith. Yeah,
I was going to say, yes, Smudger is the one, isn't it? Yeah. Smudger and Rocastle.
Smudger's the one. Yeah, Smudger's the one.
Winterburn and Dixon though as well. It's crazy.
There was always a song. If Lee Dixon can play for England, so can I. So
great gig. I don't get it.
It's true, though, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, he was the highest goal scorer for Arsenal in that season, and he didn't really get a start much, to be honest. But yeah, it's a good point.
Who would you say though, guys, outside of any club? Would it be like a Matt Letizia or someone like that?
Matt Letizia stands out.
Staggering, wasn't it? It was staggering that he didn't get trusted.
Incredible.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
I mean,
Andy Cole as well. Andy Cole as well has to be up there.
Cole,
11 caps. There was one stage where he got 4 caps over 4 different managers. That's
Steve Bruce
spread out they were. Bruce, yeah. I think Terry Venables tried to give him one, but he turned it down.
Yeah.
Terry Venables
like a sympathy cap when he was 36.
Yeah.
No, you're all right.
Yeah, Brucey never really
should have declared for Ireland, man. He should have declared for Ireland. We would have used him.
He refused, didn't he? He would have played for England, didn't he? His mum's Irish, isn't it, from Northern Ireland?
Yeah, because Alex Bruce played for Ireland.
Yeah, Alex Bruce didn't know which island he was. One minute he was Northern Ireland, and he was Republic.
He played for Republic as well. Yeah, he played for both.
But no, I do think, guys, that in terms of like English selection, it's always been kind of a close shop. It was definitely a close shop under Ron Greenwood. 100%, I thought under Sir Bobby Robson, and it was blatantly a close shop under Terry Venables.
Yeah,
it's not that bad.
Which do you know what it is, though, Kenny? From the outside looking in, from an Irish fan, a lot of Irish people will be watching football, especially in the early Premier League years when you had that array of strikers, the Fowlers, Coles, and stuff like that. And we would be amazed at the players you were overlooking, especially the Letizier's and all. It was like England didn't want to move with the times and realize that technical players were the way to go. No, we'll stick with what we know. We're the founders of football. I'm not trying to be bad, but that's what it felt like to me. Because Andy Cole, like his record of goals does not get talked about enough. 1 penalty in all of those goals for Andy Cole. Like, it's outrageous that he got 11 caps. Yeah, but I mean, you still got to find a way, though, Kenny, haven't you? You got to find a way.
I think what it was is that successive England managers stuck with Terry Venables was the first one. Then you had Glenn Hoddle. And
do you think what Glenn Hoddle said had an effect, Kenny? Because Andy Cole believes it did, where he needs.
Yeah, but he wasn't the first. He wasn't the first one to say it. I think what it was is
that was the biggest public one, though, wasn't it? That was the one that really everybody started repeating it all the time.
Yeah, but I think Terry Venables was getting advice from Ron Atkinson. Malcolm Allison, who you respected, because remember they worked together at Crystal Palace. Malcolm Allison was the first coach of some note that belittled Andy Cole, and I think he was saying that Andy Cole hasn't got the touch for international football, and that kind of sowed the seeds. So there was a case where Terry Venables, it was Alan Sheeran and someone else, and then it became SAS with Sheringham, and then that went into like sort of Glenn Hoddle's management, where Glenn Hoddle said the same thing. But Andy Cole's winning Champions Leagues and leagues with Man United, and he formed a good partnership with Dwight York. But that's
scored
the
in massive games as well, Kenny. He always scored in big
Exactly.
games. You know what I mean?
It was
So, there's a question for you, mate. Kenny, Gunners for Liam says, didn't Mark Haitley play for
He did. He went from Marseille to Rangers.
Yeah, great. He had a great career at Rangers. He's a brilliant player, but he was never for England a prolific goal scorer. I thought the height for Mike Haitley was a bit OTT.
Didn't he play at Monaco as well under Wenger?
Yeah, he played at Monaco with Glenn Hoddle.
Glenn Hoddle under Wenger.
He's actually done his best years were actually away from English football.
Yeah, Martin, DJ and I were talking about you last night.
Weird.
Yeah. And you
happy.
Hope you're well. Hope everything's okay with you. Ironically, we were saying, where's Martin? We haven't seen him for a while.
Yeah, see, Tappy, we care about you, my friend. We do care about you. We do notice in the chat who ain't been in. Don't you worry.
We do notice when the real ones are missing.
I will.
I mean, big up Gavlar, man. Big up.
Yeah, Gav's always in.
And we're going to get into this. We're going to talk about, let me just do this, the Cockney Gooner. Originally SAS, or Shearer and Sutton at Blackburn. Yeah, good point.
Yeah, what a team that was.
Good point. What a team, man. Red Mank 9, Fergie stopped Bruce playing for Ireland as he would have been one of the 3 foreigners as only 3 could play. Oh, okay. Kawaji, big up, man. Big up, Kawaji. And thanks, mate, for putting all the links in there as always. You're an absolute legend. Love the old school show. Jesus Arsenal 1967, mate. Thank you, buddy. Wolf says David Dean has been getting a lot of praise the last couple of weeks about what he did for Arsenal, but no one has mentioned Fisman, who I believe did a lot more for the club. Please discuss. Not sure about that. David Dean, mate, was a bit of a legend. Eddie, what do you think on that one?
David Dean's Mr. Arsenal, but David Dean's Mr. Arsenal. I think Fisman was very much. He was part of the guys that brought down David Dean. You know, it was a case where they weren't listening to David Dean's message. I think people like Fisman, the Hillwoods, I think the other families, I think they're a bit envious of David Dean because he was at the forefront. He was at the forefront in the representing England, the FA. He's a forefront within the Premier League. So he had a lot of influence. And maybe they felt that he was using Arsenal Football Club in order to promote his ambitions within football rather than within Arsenal. But you couldn't get a more dedicated Arsenal fan because he was a fan as well as
a kid.
And that's the thing. That's why a lot of fans liked him. Maybe they got the ump because the fans did refer to Mr. Dean. I call him Mr. Dean. I can't call him David Dean. I just call him Mr. Dean. And I think that's the thing. Some people do get envious. Their chairmen who get envious of managers because they get all the credit, but they're the ones who spend the money. So I do think Fisman, probably was along that hill. But Fisman did some great things. But the best thing Fisman did for Arsenal, and I say it respectfully, was stay in the background and let the football person, deal with the football matters, and that was Mr. Dean.
Do you know what, Kenny? And I'm glad you said that he was a fan first because he was a diehard fan as a kid. You know what I mean? Him and his brother going to matches and stuff like that. Self-made millionaire, gave a lot of it over to the club. And I understand it's business and it's cutthroat and stuff like that, but the way he was let go was absolutely disgusting. Like he got out to his car when he got let go and tried to ring his wife and they cut off his phone and stuff like that. Like it was really, really nasty the way they did it. It was personal. That was personal. That's a personal way to sack someone. And after everything he did, when you see him talking about Arsene Wenger and stuff like that, when you see him talking about, especially David Rocastle, he adores David Rocastle. David Rocastle spent a lot of time in his house. He has a picture of him in his wallet. He adores him. When he talks about him, he gets emotional. And he was proper. Even the players and all, like you said, call him Mr. Dean, and he didn't even like that. But he was just the epitome of respect. And I think when people say about moving to the Emirates and stuff like that, for me, the last of Arsenal was when he left. The old Arsenal, the Arsenal that we love, I think, was when David Dean went. I think that's when the soul of it went out, I think, because he always held that together. He always carried himself in the way Arsenal should, or the way when we think of old Arsenal, classy Arsenal, or the Arsenal, I always picture someone like him or him. And I think that the way he was unceremoniously let go, it genuinely breaks my heart the way he was treated. I think it was awful the way he was treated.
Yeah,
he gave everything, and it wasn't to do with, like, he was a big pusher for the Premier League and stuff like that when people were all going against it, and this league wouldn't be anywhere close. I know we can say that's when it died and that's all this, but it had to move with the times. He knew that English football had to move with the times, whether we like it or not. It had to, and it would have got left behind. And I just think that he was a visionary, and I think he's an Arsenal man through and through. And even now, he doesn't have a bad word to say about the club, and he'd be well within his rights to hold a grudge.
Facts on that one. I'm just going to address this comment, which I think is very fair, and I'll come to you, DJ, on about David Dean. Yeah, Martin, man. Thanks, boys. All good, but YouTube not sending out notifications. You're going
Courage, man. Telling you.
Weeks. I'm not getting a change show in the morning for some reason. Now, I chatted last night to DJB about this before we went live, and I chatted to Shane tonight. YouTube, what they like to do is, for example, I've lost 21 subs in 2 weeks, and I'm told, Lee actually told me this, cut 3 years ago, that what they do at certain times of the year, they'll delete inactive accounts. People that haven't been active for like 3, 4, 5, 6 months, they'll delete them out, which I think is fucking wrong. Because at the end of the day, if people subscribe, I don't think YouTube should have the right to delete accounts. But apparently, now the other thing is, from what I'm told, my more seasoned YouTubers, is this time of year, right? Content drops because obviously it's the close season of the Premier League, so people are scratching to talk about shit, and obviously YouTube aren't getting the revenue, not getting the advert rev, so they don't send out the notifications, which means views drop. Shane, you talked about it. DJ, you talked about it. The views drop out. I mean, normally by now I'd have about 100 people watching. I've got 41. Right, on a Monday, on this Tuesday night. So this is what YouTube do, and I hope that answers your question on that one. But Aussie hands, mate. Jez, my son, and my 3 sons on the panel. Hope you are well. Keep up the content and stick 2 fingers up to the haters. Always, man. DJ, what's your view on David Dean, man, and Fizman?
Oh, I mean, David Dean was Arsenal, and it's never really recovered since the day he left, really. I mean, he was pushed out. It's true what Shane said. You know, it was all about financial and the future ownership and everything else. There was a lot of disagreement. Fizman was kind of hovering around the background. He didn't really kind of... I was under the impression that he kind of he stabbed old David Dean in the back, really. I think he sort of, like, you know, went against him in certain ways. There was a lot going on in the board, but David Dean, for me, brought in Arsene Wenger. He had a belief. He saw things that a lot of other clubs didn't see. He kept the tradition of Arsenal together. What it stood for. All the values. He respected players. He often was in touch with the players. He wasn't one of these kind of guys that were kind of out of touch with any of the players. He was in touch with the players. And for me, it's never really recovered since he was shoved out, really. And he was, you know, it was disgusting the way he was out the club, and it hasn't recovered.
Massive loss, if you ask me.
Oh, massive loss. I remember when it was announced that he was leaving the club. And I'm thinking, oh no, well, what's going to happen now? You know what I mean? And we all know what did happen. You know, 22 years later, we won a league title, and you know, it's madness. It is madness. And as I said, he was solely behind the Premiership and the emergence of that. Again, he got a lot of He got a lot of criticism, the way he was, endorsing that and everything else. But again, he saw the vision there. I still believe if David Dean was at the football club now, and he was around now, he would be one of the main people going into this kind of super European league and stuff like that. I think that he would be solely involved in that as well. His relationship with Wenger was brilliant. So yeah, I mean, Fiesman, no, really, he was kind of backdoor Bertie, if you ask me. He done a lot for the club, but he wasn't. David Dean was the main man. He was the main man, and on with Shane. It was a sad day when he went. Very, very sad day when he went. Absolutely. Arsenal lost a lot of its heritage and a lot of what it stood for when David Dean left.
Its class.
And it still hasn't recovered, really. In certain areas, it hasn't really recovered.
I don't think it will, personally.
There's a lot of people board level who behind the scenes. I spoke to one guy, Scott Jim, and he basically is he is involved in offshore companies abroad, and he's a money man, born in Glasgow, but as cockney as anything. And his word to me was that the board were right to get rid of Mr. Dean. His words to me, and this was 10 years ago, 11 years ago. He goes, Arsenal, and I haven't seen him for years. He says he believes to this day that Mr. Dean was staging a hostile takeover. And when I explained to him that all he was doing was trying to, make the club, better in terms of trying to get foreign investment because of Chelsea's money, he's not having it. So there's still that full belief within the board level.
They ended up doing it anyway, though, Kenny.
What's that?
You know what I mean? They ended up going down that road anyway.
Well, absolutely. I mean? That's the thing. But they didn't want it, Mr. Dean. Another thing as well. Mr. Dean, remember, he sold his shares to Usmanov. So, it was a big FU to the remaining board members because they didn't really want Usmanov or Kroenke initially. But Mr. Dean still comes to matches, still goes home and away.
Yeah.
That takes a hell of a lot of character as well, by the way, after being treated that way by the club to still show up.
Yeah, absolutely.
I believe that takes a lot of character and a lot of dignity.
I think it shows absolute balls, actually. Yeah. A lot of people just FU.
Yeah, I mean, we was under a lot of financially, we was under a lot of restraint when that Emirates was being built, and David Dean was, I mean, we needed investment at the time because the Emirates Stadium was taking a lot out of us. And I mean, all when they had these, when the board had the secret meetings and all that behind closed doors and ousted him out, Fiesman was in with all that. You know what I mean? So it was all, it was all underhand, really. It was all.
The thing is, though, DJ, when you talk about the Emirates Stadium, I mean, the bank would only give the 5 year or the loan if Wenger would stay for 5 years, and he was going to go, and David Dean convinced him to stay. So the stadium wouldn't have happened without David Dean. No,
he was the
Wenger
main
did it. Wenger did it.
The main cog in the wheel, wasn't he? He was definitely the main cog in the wheel behind that. Definitely.
And ironically, it's the new age Emirates fans that just dismiss him.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
With David Dean, in the early days at Arsenal, lived in top end of Avenel Road, not far down from, about 6 houses down, I think I'm right in saying, from Gillespie Road. So he was proper Arsenal, that man. Loved the club, but always have time to chat to people, talk to the fans, and his heart and soul was Arsenal.
Yep.
And I think he was done dirty, if you ask me, if my honest. We'll move it on. We're going to just do this. Jez says Rengoku 967. Jez, question for you: which midfielder was more influential, Platini or Lothar Matthäus? For me, Platini. I thought absolute legend.
You're 84, Jess. You're 84.
Yeah,
won a total on his own.
9 goals in 5 matches from a 10.
Platini, I honestly, I still remember the commentary now when he was playing for France.
Unbelievable. Because me and Kenny were saying it on the World Cup show, and that a lot of people flip out when they say that he's better than Zidane, but he was better than Zidane.
Underrated, you reckon, Shane? In
Oh, without
terms
a
of
doubt.
you, do
Without
you
a
reckon
doubt.
he gets? Do you reckon that
No.
he gets the
No.
plaudits that the others get? I know.
Not even close. Not even close. That guy
Because
could
when
do
people talk about a
absolutely
world
everything.
11, when people talk about a world 11, very rarely does Platini get mentioned.
He
But
gets
I'd
in
have
mine.
to- he'd
He
get
got
as
in
well.
mine.
Yeah.
He got in mine when I
I
did
think
mine.
he
with
got in mine. I think he got in mine as
When
well.
I had a show with Shani, I
I
argued
think
the
Lothar
point.
Matthäus got in mine as well. I'm not sure.
No, I had
Like
Platini in mine as well.
I don't say it was something else, mate. He was like
Matthäus is unbelievable. Yeah.
You know, like Matthäus was an engine. He was an engine. He's a machine.
Maradona said he was one of the best players he ever saw play.
Yeah.
Said Matthäus was.
Matthäus was a machine, you know, created in a German laboratory somewhere in
Yeah. He's like Dolph Lundgren and Rocky, isn't he? He's like that's what he's like.
He weren't human. He weren't human.
A laboratory. That's Lothar Matthäus.
Never broke a sweat. Never made a mistake. And had a wonder goal in him as well, man. What a player! But Platini for me was. Because he was one of the 10s that you'd see. See, the thing with Zidane is Zidane was unbelievable, like an absolute artist on the pitch. You could just watch him. You can't take your eyes off him. And he was a genius. But there was stages in Zidane's career, even in his pomp, like at Juve, where he went 32 games without scoring and stuff like that. Platini not only set up a bucket load of goals, he scored all the time. And he was just the epitome of a number 10 for me was Platini. If I'm ever designing a number 10, it's like Platini or Bergkamp or one of those that can just but has a goal in them as well. Platini was unbelievable.
He always Liam Brady always reminded me of Liam Brady.
But Platini took his place at Juve. Took his place at Juve.
They were very similar the way they kind of played and the way they kind of their balance and using both feet and the dropping of the shoulder.
Pass, dribble, shoot.
Platini was, he was a great player. Great player.
But just on that Brady thing, there was sections of the Juve fans that weren't happy when he signed because Brady was going. There were sections of them were like, no, keep Liam Brady. Like that's how much they love Liam Brady. Obviously, Platini came in then and he was top scorer and all this sort of stuff, and they forgot about it. But the year after, I think they changed that you could have two foreigners. And Brady to this, I was like, if I had been 1 year later, I could have played with him. It could have been the two of them playing behind the striker. Like, imagine that, man.
Right, it's another question before we get into the elephant in the room question that I'm going to come to. From Karaji, question Jez in the panel. Who are you taking, Hazard or Neymar? Neymar.
Hazard for me.
Neymar, better player. Both great players. Both great players. Both winners. Both individually could just do something out of the box. I've seen them both live. I think Hazard... Oh, I remember Chelsea away, 2017. That game at 12:30, the game that made AFTV famous when Gary Neville mistook Robbie for me. It was actually me that was the one screaming and shouting, abusing Wenger. But Gary Neville said it was actually Robbie Lyle. It actually was. It was me because I could see Gary Neville calling me eye when he was coming out with his Sky colleagues down there. Look, what hell did you get at the away end? And a policeman told me to calm down. And then that was when someone, grabbed Ty's cap and ran away with it. And I had to go cap back for Ty. So that was.
I remember you saying about this.
But Eden Hazard, what a performance! What a player! Just Neymar, just preferred Neymar. That's all.
Not for me. Great player for me. Neymar is overrated for me.
Yeah, I think so. I mean,
move it on. I mean, a couple of comments. Requill me too.
Kelme, what a player as well. Yeah,
great player. Right. Big up Nelson's back in the house. Haven't seen you for a while, my man. But Neymar should have stayed at Barca. I agree with that to a point. Just from Nelson, just a long time now. See, are we cool, lad? Yeah, we're always cool, man. We're always cool. William Wallace, loads hate Platini for actions as FIFA. Or
that's right. Nothing to do with him on the pitch, though.
I get that. I get it. Goku 967. Personally, I would take prime Neymar all day. Yeah, it's with me. Is with me. Martin says Neymar at Barca, not the PSG version, got lazy, just over Hazard at Chelsea. Okay. John says, was Glenn Hoddle the best player in England in the 80s? How good was he? He was a great player, man. Great player.
Another one that didn't get trusted by England enough for me.
Yeah, I'm not.
Another one that didn't get trusted by England. I'm actually reading his autobiography at the moment, funnily enough.
Two answers can be the same. He was technically the best player, never given a chance, but Byron Robson was England's best player in the 80s.
That's a good point.
By a country mile.
That's a good point.
By a country mile. The things he did for his country.
Sorry, Kenny, to answer this, though. If both of them played now and Hoddle was given the freedom that players are... Well, not now, sorry, say 10 years ago. Would Hoddle be better then because he'd be more utilised? Like when he went to France.
It's a good question, but you know when people talk about everything that Frank Lampard was doing for the midfield and how he played, Brian Robson was doing that in the 80s.
Oh, he was, yeah. And defensively better as well. And defensively better.
A bit more. You know, Frank Lampard, for me, was like again, he's another player that comes out of a laboratory, but he was very much a more effective David Platt. It was David Platt, but more effective, I thought, Big Frank.
I think Platt was a better finisher.
Yeah, but Big Frank was like, you know what I mean?
Well, I think Lampard's underrated. I think he's actually underrated.
Frank Lampard was a super midfield player. Super midfield player.
His goal scoring record's outrageous for him.
It's crazy.
I'm sorry, that's crazy. Like, he is goal scoring. And Chelsea played boring football, apparently.
Who gets the golden goot, says Nelson. Golden goot. Golden boot, says Nelson. Are you talking...
Good question.
Are you talking in the Prem? Let us know.
Okay.
Yeah, Harry.
Oh, for the World Cup? No.
Is it for the World Cup?
It must be for the World Cup. Yeah, he said Think Kane. So.
Well, I don't know.
England are going out to Mexico early on, so they won't. He won't get.
They're playing Panama, so he'll get about 5 goals.
Yeah, they'll win 1-0 with an injury time goal. Watch.
That's if he plays the full game.
I want to get into the conversation. Been some great questions, guys. Great questions. Yeah. Okay. Got to talk about this one. Shane touched on it earlier this morning. We've sacked the club doctor. Right? Yeah. Sacked him. I'm sorry, but I think it's purely deflection.
Of course it is.
To the fact that Jurrien Timber has been kicked out of the squad through his injured groin strain. Possibly, I looked today, possibly needs surgery. So if he needs surgery, that's him out till Christmas. You ain't going to see much of him. And sack the club doctor. Well, if you're going to sack the club doctor, sack the rest of them that goes with it. You might sack all the medical staff because they're the ones that advise. He's the one who's got the final say. But the one person on this Shano, right? The one person that makes the final bloody decision is the manager. Right? He's the one that says, oh, you're playing today. Now, it's quite clear. It's fucking raining again. Jesus. It's quite clear. He played Timber in that Champions League final injured. Yep. So who's to blame for that then? Because if to my mind, if I'm the manager, right, and I'm not medically qualified, and the medical team come to me and say, boss, the guy's not fit, he's got issues, I think he should not play tonight or today, whatever, then if I'm the manager, I say, fair enough, okay, I hear what you're the experts, I'm not. Right? Now, it's like somebody going to their doctor, they find out they've got cancer, right? And then you say, yeah, you're right, you can carry on, don't worry about it. Just carry on, man. Jesus Christ almighty. This is deflection. I'm sorry, it's deflection to protect this manager. This manager can do no wrong with whatever he does. Yes, well done. We talked about it last night, DJB, you and I, about he's won the Premier League and he deserves an extension or another year or whatever. We know he's going to get another contract anyway, regardless. But at the end of the day, this is flagrant abuse of a footballer. And he's not the only one.
No.
Go on, mate. Go
on,
listen.
The thing is with this, 2 years ago we sacked the doctor that was in that same position. And then after that, in those 2 years, we got over 150 injuries. Now, we had them before that as well, right? We had them before that. I've looked it up, and many people have. The rules state that the head of medicine, the head of the medical department, whatever way you want to put it, can advise the manager on an injury. They can say, look, he's not fit for purpose. There's my advice. Do with it what you will. And the manager goes, right, fair enough. Yeah, jury, and get your boots on, right? Because we've seen the interview with Timber. He did this to him last year in the semi-final, and Timber came out and said, I didn't want to play. I was in agony. I couldn't run. But the manager said, jury, and I need you, and I didn't want to let him down. Now, if you look up manipulation in the dictionary, it has, I didn't want to let him down, or I didn't want to let insert person down. That's manipulation. Partners have been doing it true for the history of time. Workers, managers have been doing it. You know, I've worked in kitchens. People get, manipulated into working 80-hour weeks. And so it happens all the time, right? But certain players obviously don't have it in them to stand up to them. Now, Saliba's been in the same boat. And he's going, right, I need surgery. And Arteta's saying, put it off. And I guarantee you that Arteta then tried to get him to have surgery before the World Cup. And Saliba said, no, fuck you, I'm playing the World Cup, then I'm getting surgery. Right? If you need surgery, you should just get it. Then there should never be a period where it's, well, wait, and you can get it later. He did it to Ben White. Look what's happened there. He did it to him. And we repeatedly told people all through last year and the year before, Ben White is finished because he made him play for 3 months when he needed knee surgery. Timber's been out since March. He's needed surgery since then. And Arteta put it off to try and get him back for the final. And he's ruined his World Cup. By all rights, Saliba should be out of that World Cup as well, but he's going to play through it. He's going to damage himself. And what will happen is Berta will go out and buy him a new toy. He'll buy him a new right back, and he'll never take accountability for smashing this guy up, because we'll have to go into the new season with Mosquera at right back, right? For a couple of months, maybe. Who knows how long. He'll buy him a new right back, and this is why he never gets held accountable. And Dr. Iqbar, the lad that got let go, apparently came out recently and said something about the intense training. Now, Arteta hired, or the board hired for Arteta, his friend to come in and oversee everything last month and to see what's going on. Why is there so many injuries? And there's a picture of him with his arm around Mikel Arteta at the Emirates. And as I was saying this morning, why are you looking for the problem? You have your arm around the problem. That is the problem. Now, to show you the reaction of these people, man, I went on when AFTV put the post up today, and every single comment, I didn't see Arteta's name mentioned once. This hive mind of fans just refuse to accept that this guy's a lunatic. We all know it. Everybody knows it. Even the most loyal Arteta fans have to see that he plays these players injured all the time. It's so obvious. What was the odds of Saka being fit for the semi-final last year and for the quarter-final against Madrid? He was meant to be out for 6-7 months. He was back 2.5 months later, and nobody questioned it. And he's been ruined ever since. We've seen it with Ben White. We've seen it with Tommy Asu. We've seen it with Zinchenko. We've seen it with Gabriel Jesus. We've seen it with Havertz, Odegaard, Saka. All of these players are now injury-prone and ruined. Calafiori was already injury-prone, but he's worse now. So many of these players have been absolutely ruined by him, and nobody wants to talk about it. Now, yes, he won the league, and yes, we give credit to someone for winning the league, but the real Arteta was seen in that final. That was the real Arteta. I've never seen, I'm not just saying this to discredit. You can't, it takes massive ability and massive talent and massive spunk and massive whatever you want to say to win a league. I'll give credit for winning the league. Winning the league is massive. 22 years without winning the league. But if we play like that next season, we're done. Now, a lot of this has to do with the injuries. Like Kenny pointed out, you look at that final, right? 6 new big signings in the summer. We won't count Kepa because he was always a backup. 4 of them are on the bench. And the 2 that were playing at left back and right back wouldn't have been playing if Timber had been fit and if Calafiori had been fully fit. So the rotation never happened. I was told last summer, once he gets in all his new players, now you'll see rotation. Now the new one I'm seeing is when people are, the odd few people on comment sections that are saying Arteta's caused these injuries are saying, oh, well, now he'll relax next season because we've won, so he'll rotate next season. It's always, he's always going to fix it. It's never, well, we can't look at what he's done. So the fact that they've sacked this guy is such PR. It came out 2 hours after the news about Timber broke. And apparently he was sacked last week. Apparently he was sacked last Monday. And they released it today. And I'll finish on this. The guy that Arteta hired, his friend, to come in, he was asked to check 4 different things, right? He was asked to check squad management, rotation, and squad management, rotation, and player management, right? Or training intensity, squad management, squad rotation, and medical staff. So the other three of them fall on the manager. So we just went, okay, it has to be the medical staff, because it can't be the other three. It can't be the stuff that falls on the manager. So they sacked them. Now, 2 years from now, they'll sack the new guy. And 2 years after that, they'll sack the next guy. And they'll never look at the main problem, because 90% of this fan base are enamored with him. So 90% of the fan base, they just want to keep them happy. And the same thing's going to happen every time. So for me, Jez, I think that this is just a reflection of this club. It's a dictatorship. It's run like North Korea. Tell the people what they want to hear. Release the news when you should release the news. And I just feel for this guy, man. He had a massive reputation before he came. It's all just been obliterated now. It's been obliterated, and I just think it's a disgrace. I'm sorry. Everybody knows where I stand on Arteta and injuries, and he needs to be held accountable someday. That's my part on it anyway.
No, I totally agree. Big up David, man. Hope it's all well down in the South Island, New Zealand. Must be getting colder down there now. But I totally agree with it. I'm DJ. We talked about, we touched on this right now. You know, you have to, at some point, it's fucking pissing down. Get out of here, man. Sun's shining, but it's pissing down. How do you work that out? You know, it's mad, isn't it? Absolutely mad. You know, there has to be take a time of accountability. And I think you touched on this last night, right? When you said that Timber's out of the World Cup, right? He's not going to play, which is a great shame for him. And there's certain Arteta gooners saying that's good. Mm-hmm. It's good for the club. It's good for the club. How is it good for the fucking club when the guy probably needs surgery? I've seen today, right? Possibly, but I've got no evidence. And if he has to have groin surgery, he's out for 5-6 months. But he won't be out for 5 or 6 months, because we know what will happen.
Yeah.
Right? We know what will happen. Right? Arteta will be advised, can't play until January. You know, it could get worse. It's like, you know, when you have a hernia. Yeah? And I've known a few people I've worked with over the years had hernias, and they've come back to work too early and torn their hernia again. And so they're out longer. Now, DJ, you know, at the end of the day, this is, to me, somebody said in the chat there back then, it's malpractice. It's malpractice by the manager. If you don't listen to the experts who say, no, this guy needs surgery, he's going to be out for a period of time now, you've got to take him out of the squad, you've got to let him rest, you've got to get him back to full fitness, and you don't listen, that is malpractice. Go on, what do you think about it? I think it's shocking.
It's just the ongoing merry-go-round, isn't it, really? And if they think by sacking this medical professional is going to solve the problem, wait till next season, because I'm just waiting till next season, because there's going to be a great big hole and we're going to be falling straight in it. I'm telling you that now. And if you think by winning the league is going to solve all the problems, it's not. But we'll see. But at the end of the day, Jez, that pure and simple is the amount of players that have not been fit enough under this manager, caused by the manager, by the way, and he's played them. It's just crazy how it gets covered up week in, week out, doesn't get a mention. Timber wasn't fit. We knew that. He wasn't fit. He was rushed back. He wasn't fit. He played in the Champions League. He shouldn't have been anywhere near the team, really. No. And it just goes how desperate he is. Absolutely how desperate he is. Saka, he's not really been fully fit. He never really had the time scale allowed to make him fully fit. That's why the form has been in and out. That's why he's not been the same player, because he's another one that didn't have the acquired time to get fit and get back to full speed. Ben White, I mean, the list goes on and on and on. You cannot tell me that a medical professional has lost his job because he's taken the can for all of these injuries. I'm sorry. I just want to know where the evidence is. I would love the club to come out and be honest and go, it's because of him, blah, blah, blah. It's because of him, this player is this. It's because of him, this player is that. I can't sit here.
Sorry, DJ, for the question. They don't need to do that. What they do is they release the headline that he's been sacked, put a picture of Timber without mentioning him, and they know that 90% and the AFTVs know connect the dots for everybody.
There you go. And it's all going to be water under the bridge, Shane, and it's all going to be washed away. No one's going to mention it. Come next season, you're going to have more injuries. You're going to have players being rushed back from injury. And then what? Who's to blame then? Another medical professional is going to lose his job? It's just, honestly, it's crazy. Absolutely crazy. And the list goes on and on and on and on. I mean,
big up, Jack.
This is a young guy. This is a playing in the World Cup. Take away whether it's Arsenal, whether what team you support. Playing in the World Cup is an absolute pinnacle of your career as a football player. It's something that you kind of, when you set out to be a professional football player and you're playing at a big club, or you're playing at one of the big clubs where you've got a chance of making your national team, it is one of the pinnacles of your career to play for you, represent your country in a major cup final like the World Cup. And to think that this guy now has been ruled out, and you've got Arsenal fans saying, oh, it's a good thing, it's a good thing. Well, it ain't a good thing. It's not a good thing at all, because his morale's going to be down. He's going to be pointing the finger at someone. I'm telling you that now. He's not going to be happy that he's sitting at home watching Netherlands playing the World Cup.
DJ, he could have got the operation in March. He'd be ready for the start of the season. He still would have missed the World Cup, but he'd be ready for the start of the season.
Yeah. I mean, it's just mad. These players. Look, the bottom line is, I believe these players are ticking time bombs. They've not really been looked after. A lot of the players have been overplayed. That's why they're out of form. It's no coincidence they're out of form. They've been overplayed. The squad hasn't been rotated enough. He hasn't used the squad enough. He hasn't rotated it. We haven't seen Norgard all season. Rice has been played constantly. Now he's going to a World Cup. And he's going to come back from the World Cup. Again, they'll start training after a couple of weeks. Honestly, Jez, I'm just waiting till next season. I'm just waiting till next season. Let them all have their glory. Let them all have Arteta as a hero. Let it all pan out, and we'll see what happens next season.
I totally agree with you, mate. I mean, I find it shambolic, but Jack says that doctor you sacked worked for us. Our injury record was appalling under him. Right? I don't know, mate, but if that's what you're telling me, I hear you. As Darren says, Doctor no, Arteta yes, Timber injured, Doctor sacked in that order. Fact. Big up Shadow, man. I just, Kenny, look, there's been a lot of the people that you know on YouTube that you know very well, better than I, have been saying it's a good thing that he's not in the World Cup.
No, it's not. I deplore that. I think that's deplorable. I think it's deplorable for the simple reasons that I don't gut the players' arses. And I love the club more than anything else, but I've got the greatest respect for them as people. Got to remember, our fans seem to forget the only reason why they're loyal to the club is because they're contracted to play for us. Their country's their life. It's their dream to play for their country in the World Cup final. Saliba's dream when he was growing up in France was to play for France in the World Cup final. He's seen France win 2 World Cups and get to finals and win European championships. He doesn't want to hear Arsenal fans saying, don't have the operation now so you don't miss the season. He doesn't want to hear that. He will have the operation when he's ready because he's given Arsenal everything. That lad, that boy played injured for us and gave his all in a final when he probably shouldn't have played. He's done his bit for us. Now we should do a bit for him and just pat him on the back and say, good luck for your country. That's what you should do. Saka's the same. the reason why he played in short bursts because he wants to play in that World Cup. I'm not going to begrudge any Arsenal player that. If you don't like international football and you think Arsenal before everything else, that's brilliant. But I'm not going to go down that line because I don't need to come out of comments like that to show that I'm a true Arsenal fan. And I'm not going to prove myself after after 46 years of loving this club and loving it and being an Arsenal fan all my life. I don't need to do that. So to come out with just pure old comments like that. But one thing I will say about the whole situation is that medical practitioners or doctors are dispensable. I think what's happened is that I've got no proof, but I think there's been a row. There's been a row, and I can only go back to about 23 years ago, Michael Owen situation with Gerard Houllier and the doctor, the physio. He was against Michael Owen being rushed back for Liverpool games. He even took Michael Owen on holiday with him to make sure that he was doing his rehab with him. Michael Owen willingly went with him. There was an argument between the physio and Gerard Houllier. The physio gets sacked. So I think what's happened is that he hasn't been sacked because of accountability. There has to be a disagreement between himself and the manager because you don't sack someone because players are injured. You just don't do it. And you don't publicly make it known that you sacked a player. People get sacked in football clubs for two reasons. One, poor performance, and that's managers. But when it comes to medical practitioners, they're advisory. It's not their fault the player gets injured. People do get injuries. We get injuries in football because there's an impact injury, someone breaks their leg. We get injuries in football because someone's pulled a muscle because he's trained too much, he's played too much football, or he's taken his body to a level that his body says, no, I can't do it. So he tears ligaments in his knees, tears ligaments in his ankles, tears his hamstrings. That's what happens in football. What's happened in this case, there has to be a point of disagreement about getting players on the field, and the guy maybe seen by people at Arsenal got above his station. You have to look at the team he played at in the final. Four or five players had long-term injuries. Some of them haven't played for us for months, yet they played in that final. A lot of that's the circle of trust. Now, a medical practitioner may have had a disagreement with Mick Arteta, probably voiced his disagreement behind Arteta's back, i.e. Phil Thompson and Graham Souness in 1992, got back to Mikel, you're sacked. And I'm not saying it happened, but he would have been sacked if there's a point of there's an issue and then there's a disagreement where he would have said, I'm not putting my reputation on the line. These players ain't fitting. You're playing. You're flogging them. He would have said something. You know what I mean? And he would have been robust. If he's robust in that, saying that, then the manager has to win because people behind the scenes are dispensable. Doctors dispensable. We'll get another doctor who's going to tell Mick Arteta he wants to hear. But let me tell you something now. You cannot get a doctor that is going to prevent a player from getting injured. Because at the end of the day, players have to tackle, They have to go for headers.
It's a physical role.
Right. But players are going to get injured more often, Kenny, if they're coming back 3 months early or if they're not being rotated.
In this day and age as well, you're going to have players who are going to go the extra mile for the team because guess what? He wants to play. He's the guy on the bench is working hard. So he's got to work just as hard as the guy who's trying to take his place. You're going to get injuries. It's part of football. So, the reason why it's a big story. Yeah, it's a big story. I think the biggest story is the fact that Timber couldn't go to the World Cup, which means why the hell did we play him in the final when he wasn't fit?
And it wasn't just him, mate. There's other players in there as well. Wasn't fit. But Ivor Gooner says, big up Jez, watching from St Andrews in Scotland. Can't wait till Arteta is gone. We will never win cups with this guy. His tactics are average at best. Fact. I can't disagree with you on that one. you know, I've had this debate, right, and it's a bit of a controversial one. I'm going to put it out there. I haven't talked about it, but I thought, fuck it, why not? Why not? Let's all remember, right, the season when Leicester City won the Premier League, right? Arsenal were the only team to beat them twice.
Yeah.
Right? Leicester City won it deservedly, and well done for them for doing it. Looks at what's happened to them now, right? Martin says, got to head out. Big up, Jez, DJB and the Encyclopedia. A lot of people call you that now, Kenny. See you in the morning for the full Irish Shano. Yeah, big up.
Oh, he wasn't referring to me as the Encyclopedia. Okay, he was talking about Kenny, wasn't he?
Lewis Mark, Shane's spitting pure facts, 100%. Big up, man. Big up. Now, that year, Leicester City won the Premier League. A lot of other teams didn't bother turning up. Man United, Chelsea, Liverpool, Arsenal were the only team to beat them twice. Now, this is controversial, gentlemen. And Shane, I'm going to start you on this one. Mm-hmm. And DJ and Kenny, you have your say on this one. You may disagree with me. You probably will. Personally, the reason Arsenal won the Premier League this year because nobody else was good enough. Arsenal stuttered and started and started and stuttered. Right, it was a V12 engine firing on 8 cylinders. Really, let's be honest about it. Yeah, Man City nearly got there, but didn't quite make it because their camshaft went and they fucked up. Chelsea was shocking. Liverpool just didn't get it over the line. And Man United, well, they're in a rebuild. They're in project. They're in the process. Right. So at the end of the day, let's be quite honest. And I've chatted to a few Arsenal people about this one. Right. We weren't that fucking good. We weren't. And DJB, you proved it last night. Our strike force was pretty shit. Right. We were scoring goals, admittedly. A lot of it was from corners, the set piece regime. Outfield players weren't really doing the back damage. You're right. Goal assists, not all that. So my point is this, Shane. Everybody's giving it the large, and quite rightly, we've won the Premier League. I'm not knocking it. Right? Because we've needed this. You know, we should have won it when Leicester won that year. We should have won it. I think what we were 3 points or 2 points off the top when they won it. So we fucked up there, basically. And to my mind, mate, we won the Premier League this year because everybody else was shit.
Yeah. Well, that Leicester season year, I think we ended up like 10 points behind, but we were with them for a while, and Tottenham were the ones sort of on their tail. But look, there's two sides to this. If everybody thought, if the league is shit, now, look, people think I'm taking away from Arsenal win the league when I just say that the standard of this league is the worst I've ever seen. But I say that across the board for most leagues around the world. I think the standard is dropped. But in the Premier League, I've never seen it like this, being this bad. But
yeah, mate.
The other side of it is, well, it was that bad for City as well, and City didn't win it, and we did, right? So you cannot win a 38-game league by mistake. You know, you can win a cup by mistake, or not by mistake, but you can get an easy draw the whole way through, and then get a penalty in the final, and you know you can scam your way through. You know, Tottenham were a great cup team in the 80s, and Arsenal were in the mid 90s. So you can get that way. You're not winning the league, but you can be a cup team. So Arsenal fully deserve to win the league, but if a Liverpool of the Klopp Guardiola era, or a City of that era, or a Chelsea of the Boat Mourinho eras at the start, or the Conte or whatever, any of those winning, if any team had to put up any sort of a fight like that, we wouldn't have won it. It's as simple as that. And if anybody wants to say any different, then they're lying to themselves. We tripped up many times this season where a better team would have caught us. Many times. And this is the only time I've ever seen not just a City team under Pep, but a Pep Guardiola team full stop not take full advantage of the slip-ups. Every time we slipped up, they slipped up. Or we get it. But you still have to win it. And I gave Arteta credit because when he came out when we lost to Bournemouth and City and said, "Oh, it's 5-game league," and I was like, "He's talking through his arse," and he went and did it, and we won all 5 games. Fair play to him. But even if you look at those 5 games, we went life and debt with West Ham, we went life and debt with Burnley, we went life and debt with everybody apart from Fulham. And if we had gone into that final and put up a fight, I know the Champions League is separate, but that showed what the level we are at. That showed the level we are at, because PSG, let's remember, we're at about 40% in that final. And another manager would have sensed it and pushed up against them and said, right, you know what, they're not on it today. But another part you have to look at is, and people don't want to hear this either, is if Odegaard and Havertz had stayed fully fit this season, they would have played 80% of the league games, 85% of the league games. I'm convinced we wouldn't have won the league, because there's no way Havertz is getting 20 goals like Gyökeres did, or 20-odd goals over, and Gyökeres had less chances. There's no way that Odegaard's doing what Eze did. He single-handedly won against Newcastle, single-handedly won against Palace, took Tottenham apart. There's 9 points there already. He's not doing that. So a lot of this stuff sort of fell into this manager's hands. But we'll see next season, because the odds of City, United were better than we expected. Me and Kenny called them for top 4 in the summer, and everybody laughed at us. But we said United would get top 4. But they were still terrible at the start of the season, and they weren't great side. They beat us and all of that, and they beat City. But the odds of them being that average, the odds of Liverpool falling off like that, even Tottenham, I think they'll improve under De Zerbi, but you just don't know with them. Chelsea, City, all of these teams falling off. The odds of that happening again, for me, are quite slim, right? Because it just doesn't happen. There's always one of them that will step up at least, or maybe 2. I think Liverpool, if they get a bit of money, will be trouble next season. I think Chelsea, without European football, if Xabi Alonso gets a bit of power, could be a bit of trouble. I think if Emery gets backed, which I don't think he will, I'm not saying all these teams will do well. I'm just saying that we won't get it like this next season. And if we don't change our tactics, if we don't start playing a bit more expansive, the new rules for the corners have come in the World Cup. You can take away about half our corner goals with them alone. Our tactics were found out from about February onwards last season. People were getting the better of us. It was just our physicality and the quality of player just getting us over the line in games. So if he goes on and retains this, then this wasn't a fluke. The only way to prove that this wasn't a fluke is if he goes on and retains it. Now, again, to win a league, I don't mean winning the league was fluky. I mean it was a flash in the pan, because we look at all the other seasons when he didn't do great. So for me, I'm with you on that it was a very, very weak league. But as I said, it was a weak league for everybody else as well, and they didn't win it. So you do have to win it. I do think when Leicester won it, the league was stronger. Definitely was stronger. Other teams fell off, but it was just a stronger league. And I think Leicester did it in style. They smashed teams up. They played a certain brand of football that was nice to watch. They had their forward players both got into massive double figures. But yeah, I do agree that, look, teams fell off, but it ain't going to take the shine off the Premier League for me. The Premier League, I've waited 22 years for it. So I'm going to celebrate it no matter what way it happens. But to sort of answer your question in a roundabout way, if we don't step it up next season, we'll definitely be found out. Without a doubt, we'll be found out. And yeah, but that's my take on it anyway.
Yeah, I hear you on that. DJ, the point I was trying to make, and Shane's just answered it brilliantly, but the fact remains, I still think we got away with it. We weren't that good. You come on, you know better than me. You actually at the home game. Yeah. It wasn't great.
No, I mean, it weren't dissimilar to what it was last season, to be honest. It's just that Liverpool had a new manager bounce that took over from Klopp, and he changed a few things, and he got the best out of Liverpool for a season. But if you look at the way we played last season and we played this season, there weren't really a lot of difference. Mm-hmm. So then you've got to ask yourself, how have we won the league? Because I went through the stats on my midweek mingle show with Nortsky. And then I went through the stats again with you last night, Jez. And people have been through the stats after that. And when you look at our attacking third, it is woeful. I mean, it's shocking. You're talking 4 goals, 4 assists from top players. I'm just, I can't. You're talking 1 goal from Martinelli, 14 Premiership goals from your main striker. Saka, again, I think he was, 5, 6 assists, 4 goals, 7 goals, something like 4 goals.
4, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, and the list goes on. Declan Rice, 5 assists, and I think 4 goals. You know, number 8 in midfield. So if you look at the strike, if you look at the final third, that is not where we won the league. We won the league defensively. We won the league because of Gabriel Saliba, Timber right up until January. The goalkeeper's been magnificent, and we've had some good performances at left back, whoever's come in at left back. There is no way this team can carry on the way it's doing, limping over the line, relying on other teams to mess up with the style of football we play. And I'm sorry, I'm not in the camp of these fans saying, oh, it don't matter. If it wins us the league, well, who cares? Well, I care, because I know for a fact eventually we're going to get found out.
Mm-hmm.
The fact of the matter is, you've got to find a way to get your front line, the final third, whatever you want to call it, your wingers, your attackers, your centre forward, you've got to get them more productive. And we just haven't done that. Now, if you look at the way we've won the league this season, you have to think to yourself, well, you know, we've been the kind of ones that have come out because solidly we've been good defensively. Man City have not really, you know, they got going and they fell off. Then they got going and they fell off. They beat us in the cup final. They beat us at the Etihad. Things were starting to look good for them. And then they just kind of, you know, they just fizzled out for one. Rodri weren't really 100%. A couple of players were out of form. They weren't really gelling. Gahey made a few mistakes towards the end of the season. And the rest is history. Liverpool have just capitulated, really. I mean, a lot of players that should have been moved on at the start of the season probably outstayed their welcome. And this is what I mean. So we've been the more solid team and squad throughout this campaign. Where Liverpool have been, players have been coming in and they've not really fit in positions. We've been the more stable squad because he's been able to call on his old guard again. As Kenny said, you know, he's been able to call on the Odegaards. He's been able to call on the Havertz. He's been able to revert back to what he knows and still have his new signings there as well. Whereas a lot of the other teams haven't done that. So, look, you've got to be in it to win it. We've been the best of the bad bunch. Can we carry on and be a force playing like this? No, we can't. I personally don't think the squad's good enough. And I said that at the start of this season when we was talking about squad depth, best team ever, blah, blah, blah. I said it isn't. It's lacking a lot of quality in a lot of areas. And we still lack a lot of quality in a lot of areas. And if we don't address it, we're going to be found real wanting next season. And Shane made a good point when he said that cup final tells you everything you need to know. I've watched it at Wembley, Carabao Cup final, Major Cup final, and I watched that Champions League. And I'm sorry, but that Champions League to me has scared the living daylights out of me.
Mm-hmm.
It's scared the living daylights out of me. I've not got carried away of all the euphoria of winning the league. I've celebrated it. I've given him his flowers. I've said, well done. I've been at the parade. I've been on a cloud nine for weeks. I've been wearing my Arsenal T-shirts at the gym, out on my bike. Over the moon that we won the league. But I'm sorry, there's still a part of me when now the dust has settled, the parade's done, all the glamour and glitz is over. There's still a part of me thinking, how have we only won one trophy this season? There's still that part of me thinking, how on earth have we been in 2 cup finals and only won one trophy this season? And it's only because it's the Premier League. Everything else, and I keep saying it, has been pushed aside. Nothing matters. The Champions League has been treated like a charity shield match in a lot of fans' eyes. And I think it's an absolute disgrace. It's abysmal because that Champions League, it don't matter. It's been pushed aside.
Pre-hit.
All the cracks have been covered up because we've won the league. No, The cracks are open. They're wide open. Yeah. And again, the start of next season, the first 5 or 10 games, you will see how far this club has actually come under this manager. We won the league. Brilliant. It wasn't a very good league. In fact, apart from Bournemouth, Brentford, Brighton, I never saw attractive football at all. I saw poor football from Man City. I saw poor football from Liverpool, and I was seeing it from Arsenal on a regular basis. So I'm sorry. I'm just sitting tight. I'm waiting till next season, and then I'm just going to see what happens, because that Champions League, I don't care what anyone says. When they turn up and says, "Oh, it was PSG, we couldn't come out all guns blazing," we were favourites to win that tournament. That performance, I don't care what anyone says, that performance in that Champions League was appalling. And it's only because we won the Premier League, it's all got covered up, and it's all got glossed over, and it's all got pushed aside. And it's, for me, I've not forgotten about it. So we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, fact, man. Fact. You Army says, why are you bored? It's called 58 years of watching Arsenal, mate.
I just want to touch on something before you go there, just on really quickly on something DJB said, and Kenny's touched on it as well, about Arteta bringing his favourites back into the team, the Havertz, the Odegaards, and that. If you look at that period we had when we lost the cup final, we lost to Southampton, we lost to Bournemouth, we lost to City, and then when the Champions League final we lost, he shoehorned back in those 2 players for all those games and took out the ones that were winning. All the ones that we fell apart in, he shoehorned them back in.
True, very true. And I think what DJB just said sums up what a lot of the real objective fans, I'll put it that way, think. Because at the end of the day, you know, we are papering over the cracks again. As the statement there from William. Yeah, Arsenal won the double in 71, and we nearly went down in 74. Because we didn't reinvest. We let players go. Ray Kennedy, all those sort of ilk of players, and we did it again in the mid-70s. You know, Kenny won't like me for this one, but Stapleton, Brady, Son, we let them all go, and we never reinvested. And this is the big thing we got to look at. Just do these comments, Kenny, and I'll come to you on it, man. Silver Gunner 1886. We celebrate the occasion, but we are allowed to review our team for next season.
100%.
Absolutely. Yeah. You've got to look ahead. There you go, Kenny. You got an admirer. You got an admirer, man.
Very nice of you. But one thing I will say, without a shadow of doubt, is that, you see, this is where the confusion, happens. Right? This is the confusion. A lot of people are going to have a go at you for your opening comment, Gambit, about we were the best. You basically said words to the effect, we were the best of a bad bunch. We won it in spite of, and we weren't that great. They're going to labash you for that. But these are the same people are going to say Arsenal are going to dominate for the next 3 or 4 years. Yeah. And when you ask them why, they're going to say, well, Man City are going to get a 115 penalty. Although Simon Jordan's going to burst a lot of ties on that, because he actually came out with something I agree with, which is accurate. They did. It was 150 charges of the same offence. Mm-hmm. So really, truly, it's not as bad as people want to make out, and that's why the Premier League are going to have egg over their faces. Then they're going to say, well, Liverpool are in transition, this team's in transition, and that's why Arsenal dominate. So they're basically saying that Arsenal are going to dominate because the rest of the league ain't that great.
Team. Yep.
But they're going to labash you for saying what you've said, which makes their credibility look all over the place. And that's why there's a lot of people who, since we won the league, have asked for apologies and tried to discredit other people. I just say to them, just sit down and watch back your own handles. Watch back your reactions after we lost against after we drew against Wolves. Watch your reactions after the Bournemouth game. Watch your reactions, after Sunderland away. Watch your reactions when we got beaten by Man United. Or watch your reactions when we got to the FA Cup. I think you'll rest your heads in shame because the thing with YouTube that a lot of you guys do or people do, there's receipts, and it's your receipts, not receipts we've made up. So they need to sort of calm down with that. The fact is that we won the league because we were the most consistent. When it came to the crunch where teams should have, could have caught us, they didn't. Man City had numerous opportunities to catch us. They didn't. We weren't great, but Man City just couldn't beat teams. And some of them were home games they couldn't win. So that's why we won the league. But is it a vintage season? No, it wasn't, because 2 years ago when we were brilliant, especially second half of the season, it weren't good enough because Man City were better than us. And they deserved to win the league. Last season, which was the most accurate barometer, was Man City were in transition. De Bruyne wasn't the same De Bruyne. They had a few players go. That was their chance to be in the next cabinet rank. Liverpool stole a march and won the league comfortably, easily. They won it by 10 points. Arsenal fans seem to forget that because, we had a few sending-offs. We had loads of injuries. That was an excuse. We had the same kind of injuries as well. We didn't have the sending-offs, but we still had the injuries, but we still won. So when you talk about, us winning the league, it was our turn to win the league because this time we saw the challenges. We won it fair and square. But was it a vintage league? No, it wasn't it wasn't a 91 team. It wasn't a team under 2002, and it was certainly wasn't an invincible team. There's no way any of these players, in my opinion, are going to touch the sides when it comes to getting into those great teams. A lot of people are just making fools of themselves, like the idiots that hesitate. People should know better, hesitate when they compare Declan Rice to Vieira.
Ridiculous.
You shouldn't even hesitate with that, but there's idiots that do that. There's guys who should know better, who claim to be who are looked up to by a lot of our fans. They hesitate when you compare Pires to Saka. There shouldn't be hesitation. There shouldn't be hesitation when they're comparing Gabriel to Sol Campbell. There shouldn't be hesitation when they're around Adam Saliba. But these guys, the problem we've got in our fans is recency. Everyone forgets about the fact that there was a tug of war over that if he didn't win, they some people would have gone against him. There's one person who's very, very vocal on social media. I mean, he doesn't even know when to shut up. But he's one of the people that said that if Liverpool won the league last season, Arteta's got to go on the basis that had their Liverpool win the league. But they did. But all of a sudden, he changed. There's people who went on AFTV and said they hated Arteta, and now they like him. And I know what the situation with a lot of our punditry. A lot of people have been told, and I've been privy to his meetings, and I know a lot of people and I know the person who told them very well, because I've had meetings with him before we fell out. And I know for a fact he's told people that if you want to get on, you can't say this and that.
Yep.
People confided in me about that. They haven't told me they've changed their mind, but they've confided in me and advised that. And I think what's happening now is that more and more people are going to want to get into the media in order to be positive about the club. You can still be positive about Arsenal because the most positive thing you say about Arsenal is that you want Arsenal to win. Criticising Arsenal when they're playing crap is very positive, actually. It's refreshing because you're actually saying, we've got to do better. We need to stay at the top. Next year, Piers Morgan says, Arsenal got £862 million and we're all going to be on top of the game. Doesn't matter because at the end of the day, that £800 million isn't going to go on players. That's going to go on money towards the new rebuilding the ground, getting more seats in the ground, the refurbishment. That would go towards player salaries, bonuses, and then some of it would go to transfers. It's not all going to go on spending money. Another thing as well, I've been informed by a close source that the Spanish FA have basically taken out Real Madrid and Barcelona out of their PSR, their FFP, which means they can spend as much as they want, both sides. So that's going to affect us when it comes to the Champions League, because guess what? Although the Premiership's had a free reign and we've done really well in the tournament, if you will ask the best players in the world, who do you want to play for? And they now know that Real Madrid and Barcelona can spend money. They're coming there. before they come to us. And then the next club rank is PSG, because PSG are the biggest club in Europe, and on the basis that they're now the team to beat in Europe, not Real Madrid and Barcelona. So now that all these teams are in money, we could be the fourth club rank. So you can't just guarantee that, that we're going to get to the Champions League final playing like we did. We'll get to semis, but when we play a decent team in a one-off game, we're not going to win it because we haven't got the players. We haven't got the players in form to win it. What PSG showed is that we could have got to penalties, but when it comes to winning the match, we didn't have the players to win the match because they're not good enough. They're not fit enough. Saka wasn't good enough in that final. Odegaard wasn't good enough. Havertz did his bit, but he couldn't finish the game. The manager's biggest indictment on Gyökeres, who I have arguments with a few of you on the panel. I have arguments with Lee all the time. I have arguments with good friends of mine about Gyökeres. But the biggest indictment was the manager refusing to play him. It was obvious in the Burnley game that Havertz was starting that final, but it weren't obvious to everyone else. And that's the thing. You saying, coming out of all those comments, we rarely placed the players last season. This season just gone because we weren't happy with our left-hand side. We weren't happy with the consistency of players. The goals weren't going in. But the only people we praised consistently was the goalkeeper and the defence. And that's what won us the title. So normally you win leagues your time like that. But if you want to dominate, you can't dominate like that, I'm afraid. You have to do better because it's not going to happen like that again. I promise you.
No, I totally agree with you, Kelly. Nelson's saying City are 14-1 to get relegated. Yeah, I think you're living in a parallel universe, my friend. Yeah, really not seeing that on that one. Come on, fucking hell.
I think Nelson. He's been on this panel before, and he has said things like that, and he's very pro Arsenal. There's nothing wrong with you saying, Nelson. The fact is that we should be able to analyse football matches. There's even some people who have gone on panels and embarrassed themselves and gone on national radio to say that we're a bigger club than Man United on the basis of the fact that we attracted 1.5 million people to our parade. Well, 500,000 of them weren't even Arsenal fans. They were there for the vibe. You asked them who's Arsenal's best player, they didn't even know. They didn't even know where our stadium was. So it was just, people, coming to social media. So we're not bigger than Man United. We're never going to be bigger than Man United Liverpool. But as I said, Regency always rules the roost when it comes to certain people and our fans. And they're getting away with it because we've won the title. It's recent. So no one's going to tell them, you're talking crap. You're talking rubbish. People that, one guy who's been a couple of podcasts, he works in the media, comes out with that nonsense. It's silly. If Piers Morgan comes out with this silliness, they know that, no, it's factual sentence, but deep down, if they believe that, then they're deluded. They're deluded.
It's a mad world, man. Arsenal, the biggest draw in the Prem. I don't think so, mate. I don't think so. Arsenal.
Oh God, no! This is nothing against you, James, but that's a very puerile argument.
Yeah. The only one that was a guaranteed penalty was the Saka handball. If you're going by Champions League, let's get it right.
Yeah, absolutely. But people cling on to whatever they can cling on to.
They do,
and they'll make any excuse. And Nelson's one of them.
He is.
He talks pure old shit. And he wonders why he gets blocked because he just talks bollocks.
Nelson, I would say that because it's fact. I'm not delusional. The Saka, the Madueke one wasn't a penalty. The Saka one was a penalty. It's just a fact.
Yeah.
If it was the other way around, I'd call it. These guys though, they come out and say you would say that, but he's in saying that the other one was a penalty, but he doesn't think that that's. You know what I mean? It's unbelievable. Absolute spanners.
he's just a little wind-up twat at the end of the day, and he wonders why he gets blocked, and he'll come back under a different name and go again. You know what I mean? These people, they don't know about
it's the highlight of his day, Jez, is getting noticed.
Well, it's come up the school holidays, isn't it? So he's probably done his exams and he's now got nothing to do. But there you go, that's life. But at the end of the day, you know, when you can actually come back and Nelson with some actual facts and some knowledge about Arsenal, then we will actually listen to you, because you talk absolute dog shit. Big up Ryan. All right, Jez, you've seen all the protests going on. Yeah, we're not talking about that, though, mate. I'm not a political channel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you do, but you talk bollocks, Nelson. You never come out with any actual facts. You just spurt out stupid comments.
He just disagrees with whatever said. Whatever said, he just disagrees with it. It's sad, really.
You know, you're just an idiot at the end of the day. And if you actually had something intelligent to say, I mean, quoting 14-1 for Man City to be relegated, where'd you get that from?
And you're meant to take him seriously.
Where'd you get that from?
It's, you know what it is? It's because people, you know, with the thing with the Man City thing, sorry to interrupt. The reason why people talk about Man City and they talk about the punishment, because it's because it's what they want to happen.
Yep.
When people come out with predictions, 9 out of 10 times is what they want to happen, not what they think is going to happen. The fact that we're 3 years down the line, we still haven't got a verdict.
It's never going to happen, Kenny. We all know nothing's going to happen. They'll get a big fine or something. That'll be it. Like, they're not going to get relegated or anything.
Thank God for Simon Jordan, for me, because I've always believed that these charges are farcical. I mean, when I read them, and he articulated pretty well, because I couldn't articulate it, but I thought, hang on here, they committed the same offence twice.
Yeah, they're all in big chunks. That's what people just love. The media love the 115. It sounds it's like a big chunk of the same thing. I'm not saying it's right, by the way, but it's the same thing over and over again.
It's like the Premier League wanted to show they're tough guys, and then they're realising, well, hang on here. Everyone says they're behind us, but you know, everyone's keeping their counsel. No one's coming out and backing us in this. So they're scared to make a decision. And Man City going, go on, do your worst.
Mm-hmm.
3 years down the line, we're none the wiser. And then you've got people like Piers Morgan saying that they should have their trophies taken away from them. Why? Because we didn't win them.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. It's so pathetic.
I wouldn't want trophies that way, if I'm being honest with you.
No, we didn't win it, so I don't want it. Mm-hmm. You know, Michael says, Michael Redmond. Yes, I know Chaz and Dave were Spurs, but I love their music. Went to see them on many, many, many occasions. Good shot. I love that. All that. Legend, man. Legend. William Wallace says, Silver Gunner, 1886, of course, fair and square. Thanks to your manager. But it is. We're going to wrap it up shortly, gentlemen, before we get a World Cup prediction from these esteemed people on the panel, as always. Got just a couple of comments here. Question for the panel: if Pep Guardiola replaced Wenger when he left Arsenal, would he have been successful to win the Prem?
100%.
Yeah,
100%.
200%.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely incredible manager. William Wallace says, don't Arsenal make most on tickets like? I don't know what, you're probably right. Yeah, Silver Gun 1886. Everyone has a fortune turn nowadays, Kenny. Yeah, here we go.
Exactly, because they hope that it's because they want an outcome. Simple.
Fact.
Yeah.
Fact. Yeah. City are the most corrupt club in the world and will finally get done soon. When?
They're far from the most corrupt club in the world.
But that's what you want to happen, Nelson, mate. That's what you want to happen.
Give me the facts, mate. Give me the facts. Give me the details.
Oh, he's after down a bit. He's after comparing it to Juve match fixing. There's a big difference between match fixing and you know what I mean.
It's not happening. City's there'd be too much money exchanged hands. It ain't happening.
Never gonna happen. Never going to happen.
Here we go, Troy. Here we go, Troy, mate. Hey, are you saying, Troy, that Gyökeres was a catalyst to us winning the title?
He did make a difference, Kenny, to be fair.
He did. He
Like
did,
if
but
Havertz had played all the games he played, we wouldn't have got the wins we got.
He was very much maligned because of his performances or lack of them. And he was part of those players that were criticised this season.
He was criticised by the majority of fans who said he'd score 30, 40 goals in a season. The level-headed fans said he ain't that player, and he will, under this system, he'll do well to get 15 league goals. And he did. I think under the system, he did well to get 15 league goals. He was never going to be an Henry or a Davor Suker or someone like that. He's not that guy. But if you feed him in the right positions, he'll score. That was always my argument. I just think under the system, he worked miracles, if I'm being honest with you. There was many a game where I watched him just going, this guy just ain't it. But he ain't it as a hold-up forward. He ain't it as a dropping out wide. He ain't it. But when he did get the ball fed to him, I remember he went 7 games without getting a shot. That's not on him. That's on him not getting the ball.
It was hard for him in December because there was a ruthlessness from certain players. Between November and December, where it was a case where we got to win games, stuff in. We're gonna stuff trying to feed in. We're gonna go ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
But thanks to the hard work, Brentford was a case in example, and Chelsea away, where it was a case where he took. I suppose his renaissance came in the first leg against Chelsea.
Yeah,
Kenny. All I'm going to say on the Gyökeres is when you've got an outstanding striker, there's no talks of wanting to sign another one the following season.
Mm-hmm.
Every Arsenal fan are looking to sign another striker at next season.
A lot of that, though, DJ, is fans not wanting to point out that the manager can't get a song out of him. It's just, well, toss to get rid of him, get a new one. And then if we get in an Alvarez, which we're not getting Alvarez, by the way, everybody talking about that.
No, I ain't getting Alvarez.
If we were to get another striker, he'd be the missing piece. And then when he doesn't fire, then, well, he was never that good. He should get rid of him.
They'll keep moving the goalposts all the time, They'll keep moving it all the time. But,
the thing about it is that we'll love 100 Harry Kanes. We'll love 100 Mbappes. The thing is, those players don't grow on trees, and football. Any top club that's looking for those sort of players ain't going to get them. So you got to find somewhere else where they.
If you got Igor Thiago, who got 20 league goals, he'd get 10 league goals max because he wouldn't get as many chances. But the team wouldn't be built around him the way it is.
And Buemo got 20 goals for Brentford.
Yeah,
some of them penalties. He got 11 for Man United. So the transition, he's not a top player.
Look, at the end of the day, the type of tactics that Mikel plays and the way he wants to go about playing his football is not conducive to any striker. I keep saying it. People saying, "Oh yeah, let's go and get Morgan Rogers. Let's go and get this one. Let's go and get that one." Well, one, he's not going to play Morgan Rogers, Skelly, and Rice in the midfield. He ain't going to play 2 attacking midfield players.
No.
Well, what's he going to do?
Right, and if he gets a Morgan Rogers, we was all gassed up when Eze came. But let's be honest, Eze only turned up for about half a dozen games.
Yeah, you're right. But the thing about it is what you said about strikers, right? This is a true thing, and this is my point. You can tell that Kane, Lewandowski, and Mbappe are world-class strikers because they replicated their form and their strike rates every club they've gone to. Despite what you can slag off Mbappe and say, oh, yeah, he's divisive that. His stats are similar to the stats that he displayed at PSG. And that shows he's a great striker. The same with Harry Kane when he went to Tottenham to Bayern, and Lewandowski from Dortmund, Bayern and Barca. That's apart from that, those three, there's no strikers like that around.
No.
Fuck off. No.
But I'm of the belief, though, Kenny, that if you did have one of them, they would underperform as well under this system. Even if you did have one of them.
The system has to change before we start.
Aubameyang was one of them, and he failed under the system.
Yeah.
It
ain't going to change. It ain't going to change. The system.
Unai Emery left a dossier for Arteta for 4 players. 2 of them are Ozil and Aubameyang. Arteta read that dossier and agree with that dossier.
Yeah.
Fact. Gentlemen, Shano.
Yeah.
You're big into the World Cup.
I am.
Thursday, 8:00. Mexico against...
8:00 Thursday. I can't believe it.
I'm I won't lie. I'm looking forward to it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not the greatest of international, but the World Cup's something different.
Yeah,
something different. And mate, give me your. I mean, it's hard to say. Give me your prediction. Who's going to win?
My money's on
Argentina.
They were 10-1. I'm surprised, or 9-1. No, 9-1. Yeah, I put 100 quid on them. I'm not a big gambler, but World Cup I always throw a few. I won on Argentina last year. I think Argentina win. I think it's between Argentina, Spain, and France. Outside of that, Portugal maybe if they don't. If they don't build a team around Ronaldo, if they use him as an impact sub or just start him in some of the games, because I think he takes away from the team now because he just can't do what he used to do. He'll probably end up getting important goals here and there. It's what he does if he shows up. But yeah, I think Argentina will win it. I think Portugal outside of that. I think Japan will be dark horses. And I think Colombia might have a bit of a say. Ghana could do something, but again, these aren't going to win it now. These are the teams that might cause a surprise, and I do think that that England will go out quite early. I'm afraid. I think they might go out to Mexico in Mexico City if the groups work out the way they should.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, that one. DJB, we touched on it last night, my friend.
Yeah.
Who are you going for?
I'm with Shane. I fancy Argentina. I think I'm looking towards Argentina, along with France if they can get their act together, and Spain, the usual suspects. I think Morocco could be dark horses. Not going to win it. They're going to be ones to watch. I think
they're hard to beat, DJ.
Yeah,
like Greece
Morocco,
in the Euros.
Turkey.
Turkey are a great shout.
Morocco, Turkey, Mexico are my dark horses. And I think Portugal could go quarterfinals if they get their act together as well. So
if Haaland has a golden patch, if he has a purple patch, sorry, Norway could do something big just on him alone. If he's hanging, you can.
I just think Morocco, Turkey, Mexico are my three shouts for ones to watch. Argentina are going to be the ones that I think will win it. And then the ones that will go close probably will be Portugal, Spain, France. England, unfortunately, I've always said it, I think we're one of the most overrated football nations in the world. Harry Kane is our only world-class player. Declan Rice has got to have an outstanding tournament. I think Jude Bellingham is bang overrated. I don't think we've got the depth. I don't think we've got the defensive qualities to go and win a World Cup. However, Tommy Tukes has got a bit about him.
He is a winner.
If there's anyone that can get a team that can cause them, that can go all the way, maybe.
If he had got your team a few years ago, you might have won something.
Yeah,
if he had got it when Southgate had it.
I just can't see it. I think there's too many England players that are still not 100% fit. I think there's too many England players that have not shown the form this season in the Premier League to really get me excited. And I think the ship sailed for England. But yeah, Argentina for me. But watch out for Morocco, Turkey, and Mexico.
Here's a quick quiz question then for you. You mentioned Morocco last night and tonight. Can you remember do you know the first year they appeared in the World Cup?
Yeah, 1986.
Ooh. No.
Morocco. Where was it?
Ooh.
Morocco. 1970.
Yeah.
1970.
Well, I was going to say 78.
They
weren't in the 78, were they?
No, in 1970 played Germany.
I think it was in the 78. I was going to say 78.
World Cup. Morocco.
Egypt were meant to be in the first ever World Cup, but they missed the boat.
I think so, yeah.
They missed the boat to go over to it.
Yeah, remember,
quite literally missed the boat. Not they missed the boat, but they quite literally
Germany beat Morocco 2-1, didn't they? Because they were in a group with Germany.
And Zaire were 74, weren't they?
Yeah.
Were Zaire 74, I think.
Yeah. Morocco.
Do you remember Zaire?
Remember Remember the free
young
kick when he
fella.
just ran out and booted the ball
Remember
before
the
he
old
took it?
sticker books when you were a kid?
Yeah, Panini books. Yeah.
I remember it. Yeah, jeez, I remember watching it. 1970 World Cup, the highlights, and Morocco in a group with West Germany and Peru.
Big up to Scotland, by the way. Big up to Scotland. I know they hate England, but
Can they get out of a group for the first time? Can they get out of a group? Let's say no.
Because if they depends how they play. If they get a point against Morocco and beat Haiti, they'll be a higher place, third place team.
I think it depends. It depends on how much that they score against Haiti. What do you reckon? And then how much Morocco score against Haiti?
I think Scotland will. I think Scotland. One win gets you out of the group, doesn't it? And that group.
Could do. A bit like Denmark in the Euros.
Yeah, I think they could. I think they could actually get out. And for them,
Ireland in the quarter final in Italia 90 without winning the game.
Yeah, I mean, for Scotland, it'd be like winning the World Cup if they get out of the group, wouldn't it?
The first time ever in any major tournament if they get out of the group.
Yeah, that's a shame. That's a shame because Scotland had some great players.
Yeah,
shame the Irish ain't there, Shane. It's a shame. Yeah. It is a shame.
We had a chance. So you didn't get the same chance Sweden got now, finishing with fucking 4 points and getting a playoff.
Yeah, Scotland qualified for the World Cup.
The first year they qualified.
I think was it 1954
or 50? 1950?
Nah.
Oh no, Wales. Wales would have been before Scotland. Wales
is 58.
58.
Northern Ireland 58. Northern Ireland 58. Scotland, was it 1950? 50?
Nah.
I don't know. It must be
74. Was it 74?
78. Argentina.
Well, they still got ahead of us. 1990 was the first time we got in.
Anyway, move on. Kenny Ken. Give me your. I mean, you're the man. You're the World Cup man.
I love international football, but one thing I will say, Deschamps has to be able to get Dembele and Mbappe to play together as teammates. They have to.
Because Olise is a starter, I think, for him.
You get those two gelling, I think France will be difficult to beat. Olise, they've got so many players, they've got Shirky, Olise, they've got
crazy.
Their midfield, I think, is not where it should be. I think in midfield, you don't want a situation where a lot of their players, their best players like Dembele and Mbappe, have got to go back to vegetable. That's going to be a problem. I think midfield is going to be an issue, and I think the fullbacks is an issue. But I think up top, France are unbelievable. Front three.
They kind of remind me of some of the Brazilian teams from the early 2000s, where they just have an array of attackers. And can you get them all into the team at once?
I will say one thing though: Spain should do it, but when the expectations was on Spain, the only time they delivered when there was expectation was in 2010.
Yeah,
there's big things.
2012.
Yeah, Argentina. It'd be a travesty if a team that plays like that wins the title. I can't stand Argentina.
Come on.
I can't stand that little shit that everyone thinks better than and on a serious level, England have got a couple of hurdles and they want to get to the World Cup final. They have to beat Mexico in the last 16 if Mexico get there, and then they've got to be able to beat Brazil. If they beat Brazil, Mexico and Brazil in the last 16 and quarters, and they've got every chance of getting there. And then it'll be a top coach against a top coach. I think England got a good chance to get the final, but it depends on Harry Kane. They've got to be able to find goals from Harry Kane because at the end of the day, Harry Kane shouldn't be England's main man. It's up to Saka. It's up to Rashford. Turn up, mate. Get that pipe out of your backside and dominate a tournament. You're good enough to do it. But it's the same with Declan Rice. How about proving to everyone that what a great midfielder you are? Because I've heard people say you're a great midfielder and that I'm wrong to criticise you. Well, go on in. Show it in a big game. Dominate the midfield in a big game against a big team. And then I'll be converted because I haven't seen you do that, mate. I think you did do it in the Champions League final and you didn't do it in the two European finals against Italy and Spain. So the challenge is on. But on on a serious level is Spain for me.
Spain. There you go.
I think the weather and the climate is going to
Spain.
play a massive part. I really do.
It normally does. Yeah.
Yeah, but one thing I will say, Diego Maradona is better than Messi.
Yeah.
Sorry, Jamie Carragher. Sorry, Messi fans.
Yeah.
Messi is a wonderful player for me. He's in the top three, but he I don't think he's single-handedly winning the league with Napoli.
Do not mention.
Yeah, not at all. He ain't.
If you mention Maradona, I'll fucking block you. Fucking cheating bastard.
No, but
I will be ordering the blue one, the away one that he wore in '86. That's coming soon. Don't you worry.
Fucking.
Come on, Shane's Irish. He ain't going to support England, is he? How can you expect him to support England? Even
there he is there, the king.
Even I'll have a go at him and support England over
I can't imagine Shane's worst ever World Cup would be if England won it.
I'll tell you what. It's when I was younger, it used to be the done thing. I remember being in the boozer for the game when England went 1-0 up. I think it was a Beckham penalty, and France scored 2. Zidane scored a free kick, and then Gerrard gave the ball to Henry, and he rounded the keeper, and Zidane scored a penalty. The pub went ballistic. Like the tables flipped and all, man. It was like nothing I've ever seen. It was mad. It really was.
It was the biggest cheating bastard in world football, that bastard.
I love Maradona.
Henry didn't do too bad against Ireland.
He didn't. He didn't. It was handball, the dirty bastard.
True, but at least
Shane, I've got a better story than that. So a mate of mine, he's a year younger than me, but he died. So, God bless his soul. He's born and bred in Wembley, but he comes from an Irish family, right? Basically, there's an Irish pub in Wembley near St Joseph's Church in Ireland, and when England played Germany and lost 4-1, there was a massive cheer every time Germany got a goal.
Really?
And it's in northwest.
Oh yeah.
Pub, near St Joseph's Catholic Church, which is you couldn't get anything more Irish than that, and it's in Wembley, just round the corner from the stadium. And every time Germany scored against England in South Africa, that South Africa World Cup, there was a massive cheer. He actually sent me a video of them cheering.
It does happen all the time. I do like, though, when Henry did that handball. I've said this before, but it's just a great story. When Henry did that
Irish pub in England, all the inhabitants were cheering German goals.
But when Henry did that to us with the handball, there was a craze going around Ireland where everybody was just smashing up their Henry the Hoovers. All the Henry the Hoovers were getting smashed up after Henry did the handball. But that was painful. But I was with Roy Keane on that. We should have put that game to bed long before that handball.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
We had chances. We had chances to put them to bed.
David says, you got to admit, Jez, the second goal was a worldie. He
Best World Cup goal ever scored, man.
Mate, he should have been sent off. He's a cheating bastard. Sorry.
Hey, Jez, Shilton was at fault for the... Shilton should have... How could a sub of 5'6" get the better of Peter Shilton?
Yeah.
Well,
Peter Shilton should have...
He didn't jump, did he?
And Maradona had done that, a very similar run like that against England a few years before in a friendly. And he didn't. He took a shot, but the keeper saved it, so he rounded him this time.
I don't care.
It's quite similar.
He cheated, and I don't care. So at the end of the day, he's a cheat, and he'll always be a cheat.
If Pat Jennings was English, Pat Jennings would have took him out with his shoulder. Shilton was this. It's like 1973 when England beat Poland. Peter Shilton, all he had to do is use his feet. Instead, he tried to be classical goalkeeper, and that goal went through his hands.
The goal against West Germany in World Cup '90 in the semi-finals, he was at fault. He should have easily got back for that.
Like that.
Stepping back like that, like an old man, he should have easily got that when it came off Paul Parker.
It's a conspiracy. Yeah. It's a conspiracy.
It's Maradona's favourite goal.
Yeah, God, I get it.
It is. He says it in his book. It's his favourite goal, man.
Jesus Christ.
I ain't saying no more.
Hey, that's right. Hey, Jess, you're right, Tommy. Ron Greenwood. Ron Greenwood didn't know who was better between Shilton and Clements. He used to play Shilton one game and Clements the next game.
Yeah, I know.
Ron Greenwood.
Crazy.
Remember that?
Absolute craziness. Absolute
disgrace. Disgusting. The man was a cheat and got what he deserved. Anyway, we're going to move it over, people. Shane, my friend. thank you for joining tonight. Got on a bit longer than I felt, but shout yourself out, my friend.
No, big up for having me on. I had a blast, man. It was a good old chat again, and big up to DJB and Kenny, of course. I will be back tomorrow morning, full Irish. Tomorrow is Wednesday. We'll then have Clean Through 1-on-1 at 5 o'clock with views. We will be announcing what we're going to be doing for the World Cup and stuff on that. I'll be covering the first World Cup match on Thursday night, so the Bruised Banana has been moved to Friday night. I think there is a World Cup match, so I might set it for. I'll put it in the group anyway, but it will be Friday night at some stage. And yeah, be lots of World Cup coverage and things like that. I know some of the games are crazy hours, but me and you should be doing the late ones and whatever lunch ones are on. So yeah, lots of stuff coming on the channel. And big up for having me on. Absolute legend.
Always a pleasure, my friend. DJB, thoroughly enjoyed the show last night.
Yeah, big up, Jez. It was good. Yeah, it's been good tonight as well.
And please, mate, shout out what you got coming up.
Arsenal Huddle. Got a few things coming up. I'm waiting for Aaron to come back from his holidays, because me and Aaron are going to do a World Cup lounge where we'll be catching up on the World Cup and doing the odd watch along. I might even be doing the odd watch along as well for England. So for the first time, I've never done watch alongs before, so that'll be the first time. Tomorrow, me, Kenny, and Dan Potts, because we always meet up at the Emirates 9 out of 10 times. We're going to have an end of season review and chat about Arsenal and end of season and what was the turning points and all of that going on and looking next season. And obviously, I'll be questioning Dan Potts as well on a few things.
Are you going to ask him a question about why he's flipped?
Yes, good old Dan. You know, let him have his moment.
I love Dan, man.
He's got his moment in the sun. Big up Dan Potts. But that's coming along tomorrow, and we'll also, you know, get his views on the World Cup and everything else who he thinks. When tomorrow night I might be doing the following Wednesday I'm going to be doing the mingle, just going over a few World Cup matches and stuff. So yeah, bits and pieces going on throughout the summer.
Retro show back next Tuesday as well.
Oh, how can I forget? The one and only, the retro show, World Cup retro show special will be returning next Tuesday. So we'll be doing the retro show next Tuesday, and really looking forward to that, going through all the old World Cup kits and everything else with me and Shane. So yeah, few things going on.
That's good. I'll be looking for. Come on, Dan Potts is a coward. Fancy Arteta now.
No, he's big up.
Dan's a legend, man.
He's a good man, Dan.
Lovely.
Dan's a great guy. He's a great guy.
He's doing well. He's one of the rare things that a top guy, a nice guy, is doing well, because there's a lot of horrible people in the media, and in Saturday who do well for themselves, and they don't deserve the success. And it's always
Terry Flowers.
It's always self-serving. There's one guy who was just a menace, and he was rude, entitled, and his fall was quite spectacular. And we all know we're talking about, because he had to take an enforced rest, courtesy of Her Majesty.
Oh yeah.
No, he's a big. I'm looking forward to Dan coming on tomorrow, so that'll be good. Man. Which is a rare occasion.
Time's that, DJ?
Around about 5:30, I believe. So yeah,
I'll have a watch. I'll have a watch of that then. It's been big up Nelson, mate. In a bit, Jez, Shane knows. No, you're having a giggle, mate. It's all a laugh on here. You know, nothing's personal. At the end of the day, we might say controversial things. Well, I might, but there we go. Never mind. It's all good. Good to see you, buddy. Lewis, Mark, big up the panel and all in the chat as always. Kenny Ken, I've been looking forward to seeing that. Harvey Gooner saying I don't agree with Dan Potts. Yeah, I don't agree with that. I think that's shallow. Personally, that is shallow. But hey, we're all different people. Kenny Ken, mate, you'll be on there tomorrow night with DJB. I shall go.
You know, I'll tell you one thing, Jess. I'm going to be enjoying this World Cup. We're going to have a festival of football. You know, don't get me wrong. I'm not going to start for every game. Well, the TV's going to be on, but I may fall asleep during those games.
But the good games will hold your attention, Kenny, and the bad ones won't. So you can't lose.
Yeah, but you know what? you know the thing with the World Cup is that I don't want it to end, but 6 weeks is a bit too long for a football tournament.
I've got to get my chart. I ain't got a chart yet. I can't believe it.
I mean, everyone's been saying that.
We talked about DJB last night. I got one today. I went to the shop and I was just trawling through the newspapers. Right, I don't buy newspapers.
What newspaper is it in, Jess? Because I ain't got one yet.
It's in the Sun.
English Standard.
And most of them are happening. Most of them are happening.
It was in there.
Yeah.
I was just looking through, and I thought, because we talked about this last night, years and years and years ago, didn't we? We used to get the old.
Yeah, I used to love them. Yeah.
And
you get the little cardboard thing that would slot into each.
Yes,
and you move it.
Shane, I'm glad you remember them. The little cardboard.
I used to have one over my bed with the Premier League, and then I'd get the newspaper on the Monday. My mum, I'd run down and get the Sun newspaper go to the league table, get it, and change it every time. Like, you know what I mean? Proper dedication. But I will be just for Jez. I'll get number 10 on that. And then just for Kenny, then I'll get Stapleton on the back of that Ireland jersey. There, so.
I can't stand that name.
And you'll get a Spanish jersey with Cesc Fabregas on it.
I will. I'll get a Cesc one as well.
Kenny will lose the will to live. Kenny will lose the will to live.
Another traitor.
That's it. I'm going to have to. That's it now.
On that note, come on, England. Come on, England.
Come on, England.
Shane, if we win it, you're wearing an England top when I come over,
Not
mate.
a chance. My dad would never speak to me again about
that. Is never going to happen.
My dad would disown me.
Come on, England.
Anyway, gentlemen, it's been a Kenny. Before you go, shout out where we can find you on Instagram.
I'm on Instagram at Kenny King 1972.
Fact, that was short and sweet. There we go.
I don't know. I've got an old episode of The Built to watch because I just saved it up. So yeah.
Oh, I've just watched Legend on.
Is it good?
Netflix.
Is it worth watching, DJ? Is it?
Oh, it's brilliant. It's brilliant.
It's a one-off though.
It's based on the true story, isn't it? It's based on the true story.
So it's a one-off then, is it? It's not a second season or anything coming, is there?
There may be a second season, but this is based on a true story about where they done all the drug. It's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Tom Burke plays a really good part in it as well. Brilliant.
Oh, it's Steve Coogan in it.
Steve Coogan, really good. Really enjoyed it. Worth a watch.
Guys, we've been going 2 hours.
Yeah, I got to go make dinner.
Here we go. Silver Gunner Harry Kane will win us the World Cup with the hand of cheese.
Oh, let's see.
No, come on. Troy Danputs has that mute and Weegal as a mod, and he blocked me. Well, that doesn't surprise me. There you go. That's the that gentleman in question. Anyway, we're going to get out of it, people. It's been a great chat.
Everyone. Enjoy the World Cup. Catch you all soon.
Have great fun and do the outro.
Yeah, it's been fun.
Now it's funny. I got copyrighted on the intro, but I didn't get copyrighted on the outro. So that's a fucking.
That's YouTube for you.
It's weird.
But there we go. Never mind. We'll catch you all later, people.
Big up, guys. I'm starving.
Guys. Yeah, I got to go make
dinner.
Enjoyed
it.
Yeah, that was lovely. That was great.
Thanks for this, boys.
Bless.